what is up? So this video is gonna be the update for the mid-budget, and it's a very brand new variant that I have seen people play and I'm really very interested. It was always a high budget variant and I somehow managed to build it on a mid-budget, so I'm gonna progress on here towards the mid-budget. It is not in its best form, of course, because it is mid-budget. We're just gonna use the least or the minimum currency that we can to just have this build going. Okay, I'll explain more later. It's a very tanky build, I would say. It's probably the most tankiest build I've ever played. And yeah, sorry for the late update on this video for those of you that are waiting, because I'm really sick like this few days, so I don't really have time to actually balance, tweak all of the stuff. Okay, so let's just get into it. Okay, and before I show the POV, I just want to let you guys know the Google spreadsheet has already been updated. Over here you can see, and just scroll down to line 23. You basically have your links where it redirects you to all of the trade links needed for this build, and of course the POB is just right here. Alright, okay, so the POB, as usual, there will be different levels of skill tree. If you really want to start right after the X, you can, but it will not perform at its best. Okay, and I would say the best will probably be at level 95. Right, I'll include a level 100 tree right after this video. I have not done it yet, but basically at level 100 you can choose two options. Either you just add more energy shield, or you just add more damage from the crit multipliers. Okay, so the tree is very much similar to the evasion version. The only difference is that we are going to take chaos inoculation here, okay, and our militant fate is now on top. Okay, the reason why the militant fate is on top is because we really need the strength, small strength nodes over here, otherwise we won't have enough strength. Okay, and honestly the difference is not really a lot other than the mana cost, but the mana cost has already been fulfilled and it's more than enough for your own usage. The left side here is also new. It's arcane guarding, where you really need this block spell damage to cap your spell block chance. Okay, this is mandatory, you cannot remove that. Okay, and yeah, I'll just leave the rest of the tree for you guys to see. Just do take note that over here below it's kind of wonky, but don't really have a choice because the Thread of Hope is very expensive and this is the mid-budget, so you're not going to spend like 10 div just on the Thread of Hope over here. Right, Glancing Blows and Divine Shield, kind of important as well. And now back to the skills. For your skills is also somewhat similar to the evasion version, just that there are a lot of difference with the rest of them that is not the 6 link. So the first one is we have this falling cast when damage taken. This is very new because we are not going to evade the attacks, we are going to take lots of damage, and with this cast when damage taken, we're going to use Vortex so that it's self-casting by itself. Alright, so you see tons of Vortex all over the place, and we're going to use Vortex of Projection so that it will pop on your Frostbolt. Right, it can pop on 5 Frostbolt projectiles, as you can see from the red wording at the bottom. Okay, and we're going to pair this together with Bone Chill and Unbound Ailment so that most of the monsters within your vicinity will be affected by these 2 ailments. Alright, and if you are fighting the boss, this is even better because you are going to have multiple Vortex of projections on the ground as soon as you hit the boss, up to 5 of them. Okay, our auras is going to be Hatred, Determination, Vow, Discipline, and Precision. Kind of mandatory because we're going to go with the block version, so of course armor is needed. And the last aura is Tempest Shield. We need this to cap our spell block chance. Okay, kind of mandatory as well. Cosplay trigger is the same, Frostbolt with GMP and Frostbite. And this is something new, which has been newly added into the game. It's called Call to Arms, and you're gonna use this so that you can automate a war cry. Okay, now I have used Ancestral Cry because it gives you armor, and armor is part of this build because we are actually using Aegis Aura over here, this shield, which I will go through later. So the other alternative, if you really don't want to use Ancestral Cry, is Enduring Cry. Okay, you can use Enduring Cry, but do take note that the life regeneration of Enduring Cry does not work for this build. Okay, so if you want the Enduring Cry, then you can probably take Zealot's Oath. Okay, life regeneration is applied to energy shield instead. This works with Enduring Cry. Okay, you just got to play around with it. And of course, last but not least, you have the increased duration so that you can have your Ancestral Cry as long as possible. You have as much armor as possible. Okay, up to a maximum of 1500. Okay, the next is a guard skill. Now that automation has also been newly introduced to the game, I am pretty much in favor of this setup whereby it's automated and you can have the maximum level of guard skill. Right, so we can use a level 20 Molten Shell, or if you can get a level 21, it's good as well. And automation just basically helps you automate like every whatever the cooldown is. Okay, like let's say if it's 4 seconds, the penalty is only 5% reduced cooldown recovery rate, so it's gonna almost have full uptime. Right, and the last one is just Frost Blink. So the new setup for this build is basically just this falling cast when damage taken, this 3-link Ancestral Cry, and the 2-link Molten Shell. Right. Okay, so for the items, this is the special part of this build. So cosplay is still the same. For the shield, we are going to go with Aegis Aura because we're going to be stacking lots of armor, and we are going to have lots of recovery on block. Okay, I don't know the exact amount. So let's say if my armor is 50,000, 2% of 50,000. Wait, let me do the maths. 1% is 500, so yeah, 2% is about 1,000. That's a lot. Okay, that is really a lot considering our energy shield is like 4,500 only. Right, and then the helmet, just go with a simple Crown of Inward Eye. If you can find a corrupted +1 power charge, that will be great. And the body armor is also what makes this build very unique. We are going to use the Incandescent Heart, which is where you will mitigate a lot of damage. Okay, a lot of elemental damage. You can see there is a line there where it shows 25% of elemental damage from hits is taken as chaos damage. Okay, this means, right, immediately we are going to reduce 25% of elemental damage because we have chaos inoculation, which means we are immune to chaos damage, which also means we will be immune to 25% of the elemental damage taken. Right, so that's why this thing is so unique, is so tanky. Oh yes, and one more thing I forget to say is also this mastery here. 10% of physical damage taken from physical hits is also taken as chaos damage, so which means we immediately mitigate 10% of the physical damage. Right? Okay, next will be the gloves. For the gloves, just go for the usual incursion gloves with cold resist and just another line of resist. Of course, do take note of the Searing Exarch and the Eater of World implicits. And your boots is also just armor and energy shield. So basically, right, your helmet, gloves, boots needs to have armor and energy shield. Why? It's because we have this mastery here whereby we will have 100% increased armor and energy shield from equipped body armor if your helmet, gloves, and boots all have armor plus energy shield. Right, and next is the amulet. So this amulet is also one of a kind where it makes this build so good because it gives you +3 to level of all Ice Nova gem. Alright, this is the replicas Dragon Fangs Flight. I'm not sure how much is this now, but the market economy fluctuates a lot for this. I bought it at like 2 divine, but the other day I saw it at 5 divine, so it really depends on your luck, I guess. Okay, for the reservation efficiency, right, you don't really need to have it at maximum. Okay, so even if you get it at, okay, let me change a bit. Even if you get it at like 7% or 8%, it is still fine, okay? Because as long as you have about 100 unreserved mana, you have more than enough to cast every single skill you need. Okay, for the rings, just simple ES, attribute, and resist. Same for the other one. It's basically to fulfill your remaining resistance and attribute. And the belt is basically your first tier of cooldown recovery rate, which is 14%. Okay, you gotta get a either a shaper belt or you can probably get a June or Betrayer belt as well. I think it gives 40% cooldown recovery rate. Also, I think one of the Delve belts also give that. Okay, I'm not sure. As long as your belt has 14% cooldown recovery rate, you are good. Okay, for the flask, just make sure that most of the flasks you can have the gain 3 charges when you're hit by enemy, because we are going to get hit 100% of the time. This is so good because it just gives you nearly 100% flask uptime. Okay, for the diamond flask, I prefer to use this because there will be times where, you know, the monsters, you're probably fighting just a single boss and your flask will run out. So this flask is actually very important to keep us spinning. Right, for the jewels, there's this small cluster jewel that is implemented. It's mandatory also, otherwise we won't have enough mana to use our skills. Alright, just take note of this. You can search for either attribute or resistance on your suffix for this small cluster jewel, otherwise just go with whatever that I've shown. Alright, and then the rest of the base jewels, you can just go for whichever you are lacking, resistance or attribute. Otherwise, if you're not lacking any, just go for more critical strike multiplier jewels. Alright, you will need one attack speed jewel. Okay, it is mandatory because you need to keep your attack rate at 7.57. As long as you're anywhere between 7 to 7.57 is okay. You don't need to be exactly 7.57, okay? Because you are only going to trigger like 7 times. That's the max. Okay, there's no 7.5 times of trigger rate. Okay, so as long as you are between 7 to 7.57, you are good. But just don't go beyond 7.57. Okay, I'm really not sure what is with the mechanic behind the 7.57, but I've tested it before. If you go above 7.57, basically you're gonna trigger less, because before your skill can cool down, you are already attempting to trigger your next skill. Okay, so just take note of that. I've included a little bit of notes whereby these are the mods that you definitely cannot do. Okay, definitely you cannot do, and the rest of the mods are dangerous. It's not that you can't do, but they are dangerous. You just gotta be more careful, okay? Don't take it for granted just because this build is very tanky, you can still die. Right, so yep, that's about it. This is the tree. Next, I'll just give you a very quick showcase on this build. Alright guys, I'm gonna give you a quick showcase of this build. So here it is. This is actually just very simple out and go Legion. I want to keep the video as the gameplay as short as possible. Okay, I encounter a delirium right at the start. Okay, so I just want to show you guys actually how like it is. This this build is just really tanky. Okay, afterwards when I pop the Legion, I'll probably just stand there and you can see how powerful I can sustain myself. Okay, but just to be clear first, I am not at level 95. Okay, neither are my gems at level 20 with the correct quality. I think I'm just gonna end the delirium. It's a bit laggy for me. Okay, but yeah, nonetheless, right, even my flask is actually also not really correct. I haven't done them properly, but it's just good enough to map already. Okay, so let's... I don't think I can stand there forever because I'm actually not having the correct flask. If I have the flask, like the gain charges on hit, I probably can do that forever, but not for now. Unfortunately, not for now. And I'm kind of sad like that city square is gone for once. Like seriously, I'm kind of sad. Like city square is really gone for once. So I think Jungle Valley is my new go-to map right now. Nope, I'm not gonna do that. Okay, I'm gonna take both Nico. I'm gonna clear this and then I'm gonna start popping the Legion so that nothing interrupts me. Okay, let's go. I'm gonna pop the Legion right now. Wow, it's laggy at the start. Yeah, okay, it doesn't have like it doesn't have like lightning arrow or elemental heat kind of clear, okay, so please don't expect that kind of clear, but I would say it's good enough. Okay, it's good enough. Did I miss something? What did I miss? Oh, I'm supposed to stand here, right. Okay, I'm just gonna stand here and wait. You can see the tankiness of this build. Okay, I know the corpse is kind of annoying, but yeah, I'll switch it somewhere else. Okay, maybe I'll just go somewhere else. Oh my god, I was bleeding. I'm sorry. I was bleeding, I didn't notice. And I just walk. My bad. Yeah, there's one problem with this build, which is actually damage over time. It can't really tank damage over time. So probably the best way to avoid bleeding is to just put anti-bleeding on your flask. Okay, I'm gonna stand here and wait. Stand here and wait. My flasks are not on, by the way. Just so you know, my flasks are not on. Okay, I'm standing here and they are taking damage while I'm tanking it. Okay, I mean this is not the most number of monsters you can encounter, but it just goes to show like really how much this build can tank from hits. It's crazy, okay, it's really crazy. However, please don't be complacent. Even though it's a tanky build, you still will die if you sort of like take too much excessive damage. So yeah, just continue to spin while you are at it. Okay, do not stop. It doesn't mean you are very tanky, it means you can take things for granted. Yeah, it also doesn't mean like you can get away with all those very crazy stuff. Oh, there's one more here. Just need another. Yeah, I think actually what is that? The expedition might be a good example, but I don't have an expedition tree, so yeah, you can try it for yourself. I think for like less than 20 div budget for this kind of tanky build with a decent amount of damage and speed, like because it's assassin, I have nothing to complain. Okay, this is I feel this is by far the most tanky build I've actually ever played. For real. I have never played such a tanky build before. What is with that? Okay, I am bleeding. Yep, I am bleeding so hard. I really do need that anti-bleeding flask, man. It's kind of important. Yeah, so please do remember to check the POB and just follow accordingly. Don't be like me. Are we done? Yeah, we're done. Okay, so just a very quick showcase on this build.